What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming. Today is Friday, June 25th. I'm your host, Andrew, and with me I have two co-hosts today, AlphaStoutland.
What's up, guys?
And Nint Ice 2000.
Heyo.
Did I say it right? Because I didn't have your screen name in front of me, or your username, and I was like, I hope I said it right. It's been a few weeks. It's been about a year for you, Nint, but it's been a few weeks for Alpha and I. We should start off by seeing what you've been up to this past year.
Just, reading up on Sonic and playing more games. I graduated college, so there's that.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. And I've been downloading a ton of music on my phone lately. I'm actually close to reaching 2,000 songs.
Oh,
nice. Wow.
Yep, I will never be bored on the road.
So, when you say you've been reading up on Sonic, are you referring to the comic or other stuff?
Of course I have. I'm in the comic.
Well, now, okay, so I don't want to spoil anything, because I know you've been following the graphic novels. What issue did you get up to?
I read Bad Guys.
Okay, see, I have a timeline written out of where everything takes place, so I'll have to refer to that and make sure not to discuss anything after that.
And I'm pretty bummed that I gotta wait all the way till November for Volume 9, already knowing that I'm not gonna like it.
Why?
Because Rouge is a main character in that arc.
You don't like Rouge?
No.
Okay, well, before we jump into that, Alpha, what have you been up to the past few weeks?
We'll
get into the E3 and stuff like that, but in terms of just what everybody's been up to, if they've been playing anything, how about for you, Alpha?
Haven't really been playing much. Hadn't really been playing much Animal Crossing either. Just the typical daily stuff. Get on and see who's visiting the island. If it's one of the special characters like Flick or CJ, talk to him and get the item, and then get off. And then, of course, the latest set from Pokémon TCG Chilling Reign just came out, so I've been opening some packs from that. Gotten a couple good hits, and it's just really nice artwork. I just wish the quality control was a lot better because some of these cards look rough. They look like
what do you mean? The artwork?
No, the artwork looks great. It's just that some of the backs of the cards, there's conditions of cards vary depending on how old they are or how well they were manufactured. And there's a thing called whitening where the edges of the card are white. The white of the paper in the card is showing. There's also miscuts where there's a really rough cut on the edges of the cards. There's centering issues, which are more common and have been common for quite some time in the English TCG. It's much better quality in the Japanese product, and its overseas stuff overall is just better quality than the English product. But this set has been notoriously low quality, especially for the commons. Most of the rares and like the super hype cards have been in pretty good shape, but I have even seen some of those, like there's a gold electrode. It's a gold card that has shiny electrode on it, and someone pulled it pack fresh and it was crimped down the center. So
damn it.
Yeah, I was like, man, that hurts to see. But thankfully the cards I have pulled, which so far the most hype pulls I've pulled were, I just pulled the gold water energy today, and I pulled the
energy's getting rare cards. Come on.
Yeah.
Wait, gold? Is that what you said? Gold?
Yeah, it's a gold glitter foil, and then the energy cards have like the sparkle effects in the background. And then there's a water, a psychic, and a fighting energy in this set, because water for Glastrier, the ice type horse. Spectrier is psychic type in the TCG, even though it's ghost type. Ghost encompasses that in the TCG. And then fighting, I guess, because of the rapid strike, single strike mechanic, and Urshifu is in the set, so that may be why. I don't know why fighting specifically is. It's probably just because it's part of Matches Fighters. But yeah, there's some really, really nice cards in this set, and it kind of sucks that the more common ones, for the most part, the quality isn't there. But hopefully that will improve with time. Be careful what you wish for, because it's kind of a monkey's paw effect. We got more product, but the quality is a lot lower. So be careful what you wish for, because it's not always what you want. So don't wish for more cards and then expect the same quality. So they've been printing like madmen, and that has also affected the quality of the cards. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, it's a really nice set. I'm just very much looking forward to Celebrations, the 25th anniversary set, because holy crap, that's some cool looking stuff they're bringing back. What's really cool about it is I wasn't super hyped for it at first until I saw what they were doing with the set, because I was like, oh, it's probably gonna be like Evolutions, but then I saw that they were bringing back a bunch of old cards and types of cards like the Delta Species and the EX and the Primes and the Gold Stars and it's dude, yes, they're bringing back so many old styles of cards, like versions of fighting. Yeah, I've got a buddy who his name's Calvin. He really likes the level X's that they did, and so he's trying to collect those, and they're going to have some newer ones. What they're doing is they're also reprinting a lot of older cards like base set Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, some special level X cards and EX and GX and all that stuff that they reprint with special like cool like confetti glitter hollow foils and stuff. It just looks really cool from what we've seen of the Japanese product so far. So I'm hoping that scalpers don't ruin it like they did Shining Fates.
Scalpers will ruin everything.
Oh yeah.
That's why you can't find a lot of Shantae games now.
This is true.
Physical copies, I mean. But, like, good luck finding Pirates Cares.
That is true. And of course, because it's a limited run, that only complicates things. So
yeah, well, the issue with that specifically was that it was the only Shantae release from limited run that was what do they call it when the pre-orders are just for a specific amount rather than being open? Like let's say, for example, I don't know what the number was, but let's just say, for example, they only have 1,000 copies. So it's like pre-order while the copies last. And now what they do is they have an open pre-order where, you know, you can pre-order as much as you want, because I guess they didn't make the prints yet, or at the time for the quote-unquote 1,000 that I said, just for the sake of a number, maybe they only had enough money or planned to do 1,000. So I think Pirate's Curse was the only one that was not an open pre-order. So, you know, they only had a specific amount of copies. So when people jumped on it to order it, I missed out. So I jumped onto eBay right away and got it for like 100, 115. And so glad I did, because that was the collector's edition. And now it's like 1,000, 1,500.
Wow.
Glad I got that.
You got the collector's edition for $115?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah,
that was like before it even came out. It was like the pre-orders. Like I pre-ordered it. Basically, I pre-ordered it from someone on eBay who had pre-ordered it and wanted to make a few extra bucks off of it. And now it's like
astronomically high.
That was never printed again. So I got that copy, and I could see it peeking out of my closet, and it's pretty minty fresh.
Minty fresh.
Minty fresh, Minty's curse.
She does. What is that thing in the game? It's a mint something. That's an item in the first game. It's some kind of mint. I forget what it is.
I don't remember. I'm gonna have to replay it.
The only Breathman I know is from Kirby.
Yeah. Which makes sense because all he does is inhale. So.
Well, that makes less sense then.
That is true. Yeah, that is true.
Gonna
My insides smell amazing.
Well, the power-up allows him to spit air bubbles indefinitely.
Oh, okay.
I wish you were Kirby fans.
I'm not against Kirby, I just never played it. And I always wanted to. In fact, I wanted to get the Anniversary Collection on the Wii and play the games, but I can never find it anywhere. And at this point, my Wii is at my parents' house somewhere. So it's like, I can't even play it anymore.
I played a Kirby game, I think it was
Dreamland 2.
I think it was Dreamland 2. It was one of the Dreamland games, and I enjoyed it. But
he knows all the Kirby.
This is true.
Okay, I would say almost. The true Kirby master, I would have to give that title to Meteors on YouTube. He's like the Kirby lore guy.
But yeah, that one single game I played on the emulator years ago, I did enjoy. I like the pixel art style of the older games.
Same thing goes for Pokemon. Pretty much, people agree with that.
Oh yeah, Fire Red is still one of my favorite games aesthetically.
Yes.
Oh, there's
Slash
also animations.
Screen, but
Thunder and Flamethrower and such good animations back then. I still vividly remember them.
So before we jump into news, was there anything else that you've been up to in the past few weeks?
Besides Crackin packs, not really. I've just been super busy. Yeah.
I've never heard that term before.
Or ripping packs. That's probably a better term.
No, I think
if you crack packs, you kind of ruin the cards inside.
That might be contender for this episode's title, Crackin Packs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I've just been busy and hadn't really worked on any videos and stuff. So it's, just trying to get back into the swing of things. I have a lot of stuff I need to catch up on besides just YouTube videos. So, and I'm going to reorganize the room because I just got a new shelf, and so hopefully I'll be setting up a new station to record in my room, because that's also one reason I haven't been recording much, is because aside from my dresser where I'm able to record my TCG openings, there's really not a lot of places in my room that are well lit, have good acoustics, and have a pleasant background to record in. So, yeah, I've just been kind of hesitant to record newer stuff besides that. But rest assured, there is plenty of stuff coming once I get everything organized in my room. So I have big plans and big stuff and a lot of stuff I'm excited to do. So just a matter of getting stuff organized in the room to make it more presentable to stream and record and stuff like that. So because now I'm able to do it.
I'd love to co-stream. I don't know how that works. I've said this over a year ago. But I still want to stream games with you guys, and I don't know how we would go about doing that.
I finally have someone to.
We have to when Shantae is announced as the last fighter, right?
Oh, that was so nice. I don't know who. I don't even know who to expect at this point. I feel like it's going to be someone super underwhelming, because they don't. Smash does not know how to end on a high note.
Fighters Pass, so. This whole second Fighter's Pass has been underwhelming for me.
Yep. I can now confidently say it's somehow worse than the first pass. And I already don't like the first pass as it is.
Mm-hmm. I do really like Sephiroth, and Steve really has grown on me. His moveset's really complicated, but it's funny how one of my least wanted characters that I wanted in Smash turned out to be one of my favorite DLC fighters just because of how unique he is. He still looks super out of place. But overall, in Fighters Pass 2, I'd definitely say Sephiroth is probably my favorite addition.
I was going to say, let's hold off, but I guess we'll just jump into Smash.
Okay. It's not that I don't like Sephiroth. I mean, he is a cool character. I mean, I personally have grown to know him from, of course, Kingdom Hearts. But it's just, everyone wanted Geno or Sora, not Sephiroth.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why, I shouldn't say understand, but I think I know why they did it, or they probably did it because they wanted more Final Fantasy stuff in there, and they probably needed to bundle it with another Final Fantasy rep. That's my guess, because Cloud was missing so much support.
Dude, yes.
And so now we actually have Final Fantasy stuff in there.
It wasn't even funny. It was just pathetic. Just how much they left Cloud hanging with content, because it was literally just his two spirits that were his in-game renders. They weren't even official Final Fantasy renders, and I hated that. And so, Sephiroth is a really cool villain, and I'm glad we got another villain. That's one thing everybody wanted since K. Rool was more villains. We got K. Rool, we got Ridley, and we got Wolf coming back. So let's get more villains. And now we've got Kazuya, which is kind of another villain. He's not a nice man. The whole Mishima line is not nice people.
There's no way he's not a villain.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, he has daddy
everyone
issues
else is
and son
evil.
issues. Yeah, he definitely has some issues with his father. Let's the day after, the week or so after the announcement, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna find out who Kazuya is, because I thought for years him and Jin were both Heihachi's sons. I thought they were brothers. But turns out Jin is actually his son, and he's Heihachi's son, and they all... Literally, someone described it perfectly in one of the comments of one of the videos I watched about the Mishima clan and their storyline throughout the whole Tekken series. It's literally just no you between father and son through every single game. They're just yeeting each other off mountains at the end of every game. That's all it is. So, it's just... They just keep entering tournaments to whoop each other's butts, and throw each other off a mountain, and then it goes again the next game. It's like, how are you alive? So
bad aim because they don't fall in the lava, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's do a quick roundtable of our thoughts on each fighter so far, whether it's positive, negative, neutral, like super hyped for that character was added, or super disappointed that character was added, and thoughts on them now.
Okay.
So first one was Piranha Plant, who was free for people who, bought the...
Just a heads up, I don't have the second DLC pass, so I'm only going to have to talk about them in terms of my feelings of their announcement.
In terms of what you know. So, yes. Now, Piranha Plant was free for, what? It was like the first few months or something of buying the game?
First quite a few months. Because they announced it in December, and then it didn't launch until... the very, very end of February, actually like a day, or no, it was the very end of January, and it was supposed to release like February 2nd, but actually released a couple days ahead of time, by surprise. So yeah, we had a couple months to get it before it wasn't free anymore. So you basically just had to buy the game and download it for free within the first like 2 months of having it released. So it wasn't that hard to get a hold of for free.
So initial thoughts on Piranha Plant?
Very fun addition, and very unexpected. I still remember my reaction. I was just so dumbfounded. I just found it hilarious. And I do like its moveset. It really is a fun fighter. It's just kind of tough to use. It's just got some odd hitboxes and odd attacks, but it definitely is a lot of fun to use. I love Piranha Plant.
How about you, Nit?
I would have preferred PD Piranha, but Piranha Plant is nice. Yeah, he's pretty hilarious, and I'm just gonna be brutally honest. I'm kind of happy that Waluigi got more lava poured on him after first Daisy, and now Piranha Plant got it smashed before him. To the point that I also found a hilarious image on Twitter. There was someone at a store. They left a Waluigi plush laying down, and he was being chopped on by a bunch of Piranha Plant plushes, and one of them was laughing at him.
So
I digress.
So my initial thought was, WTF, mate?
And
I was disappointed because this is an unhealthy way to see new characters in Smash, I have to admit, but I can't think of it another way. When I see a character invited in Smash, or added Smash, I think who'd
they take the place of?
Yeah, who did he cut the line in front of? So when I see Piranha Plant I see Piranha Plant over such and such and such and such, and So in terms of Mario, like, I know there's no like hard set rules, but it's kind of assumed that, like, if a character gets in from one series in the DLC, chances are the rest of the DLC, at least for that pass, won't include that series again, or that company outside of Nintendo, third party. So Piranha Plant was a Nintendo edition. It was also not part of the Fighters Pass. Yeah. So I was okay with it as a bonus fighter, like, oh, cool. That's fine. But if you think about it from the perspective of, they spent a lot of time adding in this character when they could have spent a lot of time adding in someone more meaningful. In retrospect, Piranha Plant is neat. It's got its moveset is fun. I also feel like it's a little bit forgettable because it's just a regular baddie. I always forget he is even in the roster. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Piranha Plant. I don't think any character is inherently a bad character, but I personally have, some of them a little more disappointing to me than others. Piranha Plant wasn't disappointing to me, but I wasn't hyped for him. He was just, okay. As a bonus, that's cool. But
I feel like if I had to pay $5 for it, I would have been like, okay, what the heck? But the fact that, and you can tell by the way that they did it, where it didn't have a base game spirit, and it was so close to after being released, you can tell that was supposed to be originally a base game fighter character.
That's what I'm thinking.
So, and they just ran out of time because they were trying to get it out by Christmas to get those Christmas sales, and they're like, oh, hey, let's add this as a free DLC fighter later on down the line. all you have to do is buy the game when it releases. I mean, that's fairly easy to do for most people, thankfully. But then, hey, if you can't get a hold of it, then that's fine. You can buy it later for $4.99. But I mean, they gave us plenty of time to get it for free.
At least it's not Amiibo.
So I think most people were able to get it for free. So
let's jump to the next character, the first one in the Fire's Pass. I don't want to spend too much time on each character because then we'll run out of time.
Oh yeah.
So let's just quickly bang these out. Thoughts on Joker?
Really cool music, very cool looking character.
Let's do initial thought during the reveal, like not necessarily when you started playing as him, just initial thoughts to the reveal and the idea of the character being playable. Then your after thoughts once you got playing them.
When he was first revealed, I was like, oh my gosh, what? Wait, what? And I'd literally found out like the week before who Joker was. And so I was like, oh, okay, he's kind of cool. I mean, he won't be in Smash, but he's cool. And then, lo and behold, the next week, Joker's in Smash. So, yeah, I was just, like, dumbfounded because it was one of those wow picks. Like, you literally never saw it coming. So.
And thoughts afterwards?
His moveset's pretty good. I feel like he's not really that great until Arsene comes out. That's just my take. He's kind of like Sheik without Arsene. He's just he has light hits and he's just very combo heavy, but his attacks don't do a lot of damage. And then Arsene comes out and he becomes a Ganondorf. So I just feel like he's just not my style of character. I feel like he's too reliant on Arsene for damage output. But he does have some cool, fun stuff like the grappling hook. And, Arsene having a counter that is also a reflector is really freaking cool. And I love his outfit. Like, he's easily one of the most stylish video game characters I've ever seen in my entire life. The black cloak and the mask, dude's a stud, for real. But, yeah, overall, I think he's a cool character. I'll never touch a Persona game just because, a little too adult for me. But he looks cool. The music that came with him is really sick. I love, what is the name? Mementos, the stage that came with him. It's just pretty cool addition. Not my favorite, but definitely a cool addition.
How about you, Nint? Initial thoughts and now?
Initial thoughts, didn't really care. Not fond of Persona. Afterthoughts, I was honestly really annoyed that Sakurai, with his bias, gave him a gun, yet did not give Snake one.
Yeah, where's Snake's gun?
That is true, yeah.
Snake, I could see it being cheap, but Snake should have had a tranquilizer.
That would be cool.
Or at least in, like, a grab. This way, like, you know how, like, he like, does the chokehold and they lay down? Like, something like that, where they're down for, like, a second,
Mm-hmm.
But I guess there really wasn't room for it with everything he has.
That's true.
For me, initial thoughts on Joker was, who? I don't care. And, and now it's, who? I don't care.
Good. I'm not alone then. Thank God.
I get it. I mean, I get that he's popular. If I was into Persona, I would probably love it too. It's just a personal thing. Yeah. I never play it.
Yeah,
I have a friend of mine who's really into Shin Megami Tensei. He's not so much into Persona.
That's funny.
Because Persona's in his eye, I mean, I don't want to speak for him. My understanding of what he explained to me was Persona was like the Babby's first Mega 10, and it's like it became too anime and popular, and people ruined it for him.
Oh yeah.
But Shin Megami Tensei is probably like his favorite series, and he played Nocturne on the PS2, and he's playing it again on the Switch. So I'm glad for him that they released it on the Switch and stuff. But I don't know. I would have probably gone into Persona if I had the access to it, I guess. I always wanted to play Digital Devil Saga because there was like this really cool, sleek box. Like, I guess they planned to have 2 games, so when the first one came out, they released it with a box that had room for 2 PS2 boxes in it. Okay. And it's like it released with one, so you had the box with an empty slot, and then when the second game came out, it's like you completed it. And that was so cool to me. But I think at the time when I heard about it, it was already getting too expensive, and I was in high school. I didn't have money to just spend on that, and I just never got it, and it was never re-released. But the characters looked awesome and stuff. So I get it. I just personally don't care about Joker. To me, I'm like, all right, what Sega character did he replace?
Yeah. You could have been Eggman!
Yeah.
I could have. See, at the time, I was like, I guess, it makes sense for every third-party series to have only one rep. And then Ken came in and ruined that. So I was like, is Ken the exception? Or can two... Yeah, I guess I get it as an Echo, but... Is Ken an Echo?
Ken's
I don't remember.
an Echo too,
okay,
yeah.
so yeah, I get
he developed his own fighting style in his canon, but...
Yeah, but Dr. Mario is literally Mario, and he's not an Echo, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, alright, so who's next? Next was Hero, right?
Yep.
Initial thoughts? Well, I guess the order we've been going in is Alpha and into me, so Alpha, what was your initial thoughts on Hero and now?
I was a salty boy because he wasn't Sora.
Okay. And now?
Now, honestly, he's an okay fighter. Like, I feel like he's very gimmicky with the RNG mechanic, and I mean, he's still fun to use, and it is so satisfying to land a critical hit. But honestly, I like the fact that he was added solely because it got me to buy Dragon Quest XI at the, urging of my buddy Jeremiah, who was like, just give it a chance. And I was like, well, it was on sale for like $45 on. No, it was like 50 something bucks. It was a couple bucks off on Amazon. So I was like, I'll get it. Why not? And I started playing it, and oh my gosh, it was great. I still need to go back and play it because I'm at the part right before you find Jade and the old guy. But when I was playing it, man, that was a fun game, and it looks really good. You can definitely tell Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball Z guy, definitely he's the artist in that because you just see Goku and Vegeta and Bulma all over these people. But yeah, I really enjoyed the game. It's just it's thanks to Hero that I was willing to try it out. But
right.
In Smash, he's still fun. He's just not my favorite sword fighter character.
Yeah. And how about you, Nint? Initial thoughts versus aftermath, afterwards, after whatever. Initial versus now, I guess.
I'm sorry. Please let me vent. F him and his franchise.
Okay.
I was like, this ain't gonna be pretty. Because we've talked in private about, his disdain for villain. So.
Especially since somebody bullied me over him and shoved it down my throat.
Well, we won't get into that. I actually don't know who you're talking about, but we don't need to get into that.
I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
Even though I kind of want to, but no.
No, we'll stay away from that. But, so you hated the initial reveal and you still hate it?
Yes, because he's overpowered and he has things that should not even be in Smash. Like, there's so many RPG characters and none of them can critical hit. That's just unforgivable.
Yep. That is a good point.
So for me, it's a little bit, there's a very quick backstory I'm sure if, I know Alpha was, I don't know about you, Nint, but I was following the hype and what's the word I'm looking for? Leak, like the leak train, like thinking like, oh, who could it be? Like the Smash speculation. I'm big into that. So when it sounded like Hero was coming in the guise of the hero from 3, aka how did I forget his name? Erdrick. Yeah, because I was thinking Arusu because that's what Sakurai called him, and for some reason that was standing out.
Yeah.
Which I think is Japanese for Arthur, like the Arthur legend, which makes sense. Which I was like, oh, cool. Neat. I didn't know that. So Arusu, like Arthur, I guess. So I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But anyway, so initial reveal was, oh, I kind of anticipated this. So I think at the time, I don't remember when I started playing Dragon Quest, but I was like starting Dragon Quest because the same friend who into Mega 10 I was talking about, he's big into Dragon Quest. And so I always like heard of it or saw of it, or he would quickly talk about it. So I always had like an interest in it, but I knew there were so many games and I didn't know anything about it. And so I got into it and I started loving it. So initial thoughts was, this could have been Sora.
I feel yes.
And now I'm like, yo, I love Hero. Even though I'm not that good with him, I like the fact that there's 4 different heroes because I played all those games except for 11. I have it. I just haven't started it yet. So I've played 1 through 9 and 10. I hope we get it. They didn't say we weren't getting the offline version, which I know I talked about in the last episode with the Dragon Quest anniversary. But I hope we get it because I want that story in some form. You know, an offline version with chibi characters is better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, I will tell you, on the Switch, Dragon Quest XI-S looks stunning. That is a gorgeous game. I know it's not as great as on like PS4 or whatever, but man, that's a gorgeous Switch port. That is a beautiful game. Oh my gosh, I was so impressed. I think you'll like it.
Okay, I'm excited because I like Dragon Quest. So next it was Banjo Kazooie. Initial versus now, Alpha.
When I first saw him, I was so happy because a couple days before I made a video predicting Banjo and Kazooie. And that is the first time I've ever called a character, and I was so happy. And I've never played a Banjo Kazooie game. I want to play the first one if they ever port it to the Switch.
Yeah,
maybe I could get a hold of my brother's Xbox and play it on Rare Replay or something. But I've never played it, but they've just always been super fun characters. I love their design. I love the guh and all that stuff. I love their goofy antics, and I just love those cartoony animal characters I always have. Whether it was the Looney Tunes or the Hanna-Barbera gang or Scooby-Doo or whatever, or Disney characters, I've always loved the cartoony animal archetype characters. And so when they were announced, and as soon as I saw the Jiggy, I was like, oh, here we go. And it was just such a good reveal. And of course, it incorporated one of my other favorite characters from Smash, Duck Hunt. Yes, I love him, and I don't apologize for saying it because I know a lot of people hate him, but I don't care. I love his personality too. But man, it was so cool to see them come back to Nintendo. It really was. And you know, after the fact, getting my hands on them and getting to play them, I love them. I love the personality and charm that they have in their moveset and their animations. And the wee and the whoa, and just the personality they gave them with their voices, and they have the original voice actors. It just, I love it. My favorite DLC characters still. Love the music they brought. Love their whole I love their outfit, their palette selects and stuff. They're still my favorite DLC fighter by far. I know they're a lot easier to use, but that's part of the reason I like them. I don't like a super complex character, and it's a nice change of pace from all these mechanics and the counters and the form changes and all that stuff that we get with these other fighters. So yeah, it's just so much personality, so much fun. 10 out of 10 for the roster. I love them so much. So good to see you back with Nintendo.
And how about you, Nint?
So now is my time to heal. No, because literally, when I ranted about Hero, I kind of got a bit heated and my heart was starting to pump. So, just like how when they were revealed in E3, Banjo literally healed the pain I had from Hero. And don't get me wrong, one character is not enough for me to like this game, but I was happy to finally get someone I wanted for a while. And I know that they're not overpowered like everyone else, but that's a good thing, because nobody should... Okay, I'm sorry if I sound mean, but nobody should like overpowered cheap characters.
Or like them only because they're cheap and overpowered.
Yes. Yes. So that's why I've grown to appreciate them more, because they're good, but they're not broken good. Like Wonder Wing, there's a 5 use limit with them.
Yep.
I usually lose a stock before I can even go through all 5.
Yeah, I'm sure that's common.
Because I try to conserve them so I don't waste them all, but then I wind up losing a stock before I use them all.
I usually wind up wasting all of them before I lose the stock, so... I'm like, well, I want to use them all, and by the time I'm like, oh crap, now I can't recover as well. So, yeah.
I love that.
I like having them if I need to use them, but then I wind up dying before I could use them all.
I love how the Banjo amiibo got to have the Jiggy.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite because of that.
The what?
Yeah, that is a gorgeous.
It has a Jiggy base.
Yeah.
Oh,
to help support
I
Banjo.
still need that amiibo. They're like harder to get now because plastic is sparse or whatever the word is. Scarce, not scarce.
Really? Last time I checked, Terry is the rarest out of the last wave.
Really?
Because I've seen Banjo online and I've seen Byleth in stores, but I've never seen Terry online or in stores.
I've actually seen Banjo in shops.
Aside from the one that I got from GameStop, but yeah.
I have seen Banjo in GameStop. I think I saw Terry in GameStop too.
Yo, pick it up and send it to me.
I hear you. If I find him, I will. Yep.
Okay.
I actually pre-ordered mine from Best Buy when they released, and I was shocked I was able to because they were selling out everywhere else, and I just happened to catch them at Best Buy, and as soon as I bought them, pretty much they sold out. So
I got really lucky with Terry and Banjo. Terry and Byleth, because I had Banjo pre-ordered.
Yeah, so, Banjo's the only one from the latest Amiibo waves that I've got from the DLC waves, and yeah, that's a gorgeous figure. I've still got him in his box until I get my new shelf, and I'll probably take him out. But
so I probably opened a can of worms when I started this because this is gonna be a forever conversation. So let's just like bang these out. Yeah. For me, Banjo initial was super hyped. I remember I saw the reveal. It was either before work, like in the car, or at work. And I remember being hyped all day and telling one of my coworkers about it, and I was just so hyped. And now, still pretty hyped. It was the best DLC character, hands down. Like, everything else paled in comparison after that.
And like, it was so much more sentimental than just, oh my gosh, I can't believe so-and-so got into Smash. It was like, oh my gosh, Banjo Kazooie are home. And it just, and the Grant Kirkhope video that he did, where he just turned around in his chair while he's playing the Spiral Mountain remix he did, and he grabs his little plush, he's like, Banjo Kazooie, we're home. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. And I've never even played Banjo Kazooie. It was such a nice little nostalgic just rush for so many people, and I love that.
There's one thing about the reveal trailer I didn't like. I didn't like the Jiggy bouncing because it gave it away who it was before the silhouette appeared. It's as soon as you see the Jiggy, you're like, oh, it's Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah.
It's like there's no need to show me anything else. So like, if they didn't show the bouncing Jiggy, then it would have built up a little bit longer.
Oh yeah.
It's like starting it's like starting off a Smash trailer and just being like, psst, the character is Banjo, and then it's like it begins, and it's like, oh, why'd you spoil it for me?
That's about what Kazuya's was, man. He just 15 seconds in, hey, it's Kazuya. So
well, they didn't know until they showed his face.
Yeah. I mean, I just meant like, it felt like that short. It was like, he literally just walks up, yeet, hey, it's me. So it just, it was so much shorter, and just shorter in comparison to other reveals. But,
okay, so who was after Banjo?
Terry.
Terry, and I actually have a bit of a story for him when I get to my turn.
Okay. Alpha, quick bang out initial and now?
Initial reaction, Reaction still, He's probably one of my least favorite fighters. Okay. If not my least favorite, so.
Okay.
I'm not good with the fighting game inputs, and he's just kind of an character. I like his personality and like the okay and all that stuff. And it's funny because it's a Japanese guy trying to act white, so that's funny.
English.
But English, yep. But yeah, he's a fun character. He's just I'm terrible with the fighting game characters. I know Kazuya is going to be the same way, but yeah, Terry just overall is just kind of for me. Like, I know there's I know all his King of Fighters. I was about to say Final Fight, but King of Fighters. I know it's a big series, but it's just for me.
How about you, Nint?
So here's the thing. When Terry was announced, I was pretty much on the same boat as Alpha, and I really didn't care about him. Then he comes out, and I get the chance to play him. Okay, when I first played him, I was still but when I played as him again to get a firm opinion on him, he actually grew on me. Especially because a close friend of mine, he really likes Terry as well, despite not being fond of King of Fighters. And don't get me wrong, I'm not very good with him either, but like Chris said, his personality is really entertaining, and I think he's a cool character, and I've warmed up to him since then. So I approve of Terry now. He's cool.
Okay, for me,
I haven't really listened to his music, but he's cool. I like him now.
That's a lot of music to listen to, though, so I don't blame you.
For me, I'm sort of in between you guys. When I knew of Terry, I didn't really know too much about him, but I knew of him because some of my friends back in the day would like quote him, and I saw like memes with him. I think there was like a scene from like a martial arts movie. I just forget the name of it, but I think the martial artist who starred in the movie was Tony Jaa, and there was like this whole long scene where they just put Terry's like vocals to the character, so every time he would like hit someone, you'd hear like, "Hey, come on!" So like I knew of him from that, but I didn't really care because I was like, Terry who? And then the afterthoughts was like, he's a little easier to use than Ryu in some aspects, but also a little more complicated in others. I do like how he gets supers.
Buster Wolf is awesome. I was addicted to that Final Smash for a short time.
But overall, I'm still. It's okay, I guess. I still don't care. I know Sakurai was hype about him because Sakurai seemed to be big into like arcade fighters when he was younger. Apparently,
and it is pretty cool that Smash may have never existed unless he fostered that love for fighting games in the arcades, and King of Fighters was one of those series that he loved. So it's cool to see that come full circle. But yeah, and funnily enough, when you talked about learning about Terry through memes, Heavy from Team Fortress 2, the first time I ever learned who he was in a meme. It was him singing. It was someone impersonating Heavy singing Justin Bieber's Baby. It was like, Heavy, Heavy.
No.
And that was years before I ever played Team Fortress 2. And I was like, who is Heavy? And I just saw it on YouTube, and I watched it, and I was like, what is this? And then when I got to TF2, I was like, oh, that's that Heavy guy from that video I watched. So
there needs to be more good, kind-hearted Russian characters.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tired of the stereotype that Russians are evil.
Yeah, Heavy's awesome. I love Heavy.
Yeah,
not as much as Pyro, but I love Heavy.
So next character and last character in Fighter Pass 1 was Byleth. Alpha?
Very disappointed. Another Fire Emblem character. But once I got my hands on him, and after the disappointment was, it was kind of quenched because, hey, we got another Fighters Pass coming, this isn't it. That was part of the reason I was so bummed, because I was like, this is what we're ending Smash on, really? And then we got the next Fighter Pass announced, I was like, okay, I'm hype again. So once I actually got to play as them, and female Byleth is the best, I really enjoyed their moveset. Like, they hit like a truck. I love it, dude. The down special is one of my favorite moves of theirs to use, but I feel like they're really tough to use because all of their attacks are so powerful and laggy, but they're also one of the more fun fighters from Fire Emblem for me to use, just because they hit like trucks and they don't play like any of the other sword fighters in the game, and I like that. So as far as us having our 8th Fire Emblem character, I was like, ugh. But for them being unique, and once the pain of this not being the final character wore off, I was like, okay, I appreciate it. And female Byleth's cute, so that doesn't hurt. So,
how about you, Nint?
Why? And even when playing as them, why? I don't even care if they're unique. It's like I first heard. It's like how I heard someone on Twitter say, "If Sakurai wants to make a farm fighting game, just let him." And by the way, no, we still do not have a spear user. That is a lance, not a spear.
I think the lances and spears are the same in Fire Emblem games. Or they're still they're under the similar classification. I know in Heroes, and I think it works in the other games too, if I remember correctly. But I know in Heroes there was kind of like a weakness resistance chart between the three, and they were color coded like fire, grass, and water from Pokemon. It was spears, axes, and swords, I think. So like the lances were classified as spears. So, but I guess lances and spears aren't exactly the same.
It's not. It's the same class in Fire Emblem, but the weapon is not the same.
I guess it's the same as saying like a rapier versus a what's another sword? Scimitar.
Yeah.
It's like a rapier and a scimitar are two different things, but they're both swords. So I guess whatever the classification is for lances and spears, it's like they fall under that.
Okay.
My initial thought was, no.
I feel that.
Why? You don't want to end up with a bang? You just want to use another, not even just another Nintendo character, but a Fire Emblem character? And that's no dig against Fire Emblem. That's just like, oh come on, you already know like the backlash of all the Fire Emblem characters in Smash.
Yeah.
And then before the aftermath, somewhere in between, like as the dust was settling, as the announcement of a second Fires Pass came in, it was like, okay. And like I liked Fire Emblem. I'm very underrated opinion, but Fates was my favorite game, and I know everyone hates Fates. I don't know why, but I loved Fates, so I was like riding off of that high when I got Echoes, and Echoes was decent enough, but to me wasn't Fates, and so I bought Fire Emblem Three Houses, and then I hadn't played it for. Like, I had it to, like, play it, but I hadn't played it yet. So when Byleth came out, I still hadn't played it. But it made me want to go and play it. And eventually I played it, and I started to like the character. I definitely like the design of female Byleth. She's way more appealing than male Byleth. And the negative feeling towards the character, like, went away over time. So now I like Byleth as a character. I just was like, did we need this as a Fighter Pass character? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like no Nintendo character should be a Fighter Pass character. And
and you hate to feel like that because it is a Nintendo game, but it's like...
There's people that love Three Houses, but still feel like Byleth didn't deserve to be in Smash. That should say something.
It just comes down to does the character deserve being in, like, the DLC slots? It's like, we got these many characters. It's like, you got, like... It's like as if you had a giant roster and like you were looking for first, second, third, fourth, and fifth place out of all these characters, and it's like, how did Byleth get fifth place? or in the top 5? It's like, that's what it feels like. Even though that's not what it is, that's not what it should be. It is a Nintendo game. You know, they can put whatever they want in. Nintendo characters deserve to be in the Fire Pass, but it doesn't feel like that. What it feels like is this is our chance to get third-party characters because it's probably much harder to get them in base game. As a DLC, it's like we can, you know, budget it differently, or however they do it, they can deal with third-party companies. That's what it feels like, and that's what it might be when dealing with these third-party companies. So it's kind of like you had the opportunity to get someone bigger and you chose a Nintendo character. That's what it feels like. So yeah. Now I like Byleth, but there's still slight disappointment that it couldn't have been someone else, and that Byleth should have just been in base game or something, even though like the game wasn't out or at the time of development. I feel like there should be a Fighter's Pass and a Nintendo's Pass. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That would have been... Yeah, like a Nintendo-centric pass. That's like, we got really hype characters coming. That would have worked. I felt that.
Or if they actually treated this game like other companies treat their games, like Fortnite with like Season 10, Season 11.
Whoa.
It's like, you have these companies, I think I said this a few weeks ago too, you have these companies that are pumping out seasons, passes, and content for games, and you have the richest company in Japan who doesn't want to pump out more characters for a platform, for a console that still seems to be early in its life. Like, I don't. It can't be a financial situation. They just don't want to do it. That's what it seems like. And I can understand wanting to give Sakurai a break, but I mean, Sakurai can take a back seat and oversee stuff.
Yeah,
like, he can.
I mean, he's not a one-man show. He's got developers under him the whole time.
He can. Like, Nintendo can hire the talent, if they don't already have the talent to pump these out. I mean, the rate they're going is fine. Like, I would take a few characters a year. Like, it builds up the hype. And Sakurai can put his input in, like, oh, these characters should probably have, like, these movesets. These are the kind of things that I want to be in. And then let him take a back seat, and so that he doesn't have to develop everything, and let him put input in. If that's the thing, if the issue is giving Sakurai a break, if he wants to be if he is all into it, then sure, that's great. But I just don't understand why such a big name game, a game that Nintendo has to tell everybody before each direct whether or not they're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they keep supporting it?
So I understand what you mean.
I don't get it. And that has nothing to do with loving Smash or hating Smash. it's a fact that it's one of the most popular things that Nintendo pumps out. So why wouldn't they support it?
That's a good point, and
So-
it's arguably the biggest.
People happy, yeah.
Yep, and it's arguably the biggest crossover of all time at this point. I mean, there's
yeah.
so many series represented, so why not pour into that as much as you can?
Between the last direct for Smash 4 with Corn and Bayonet's reveal, all the way up to the reveal of Smash Ultimate, that in-between period where there was no Smash news, I felt just so, empty and boring.
Yeah.
It's like, why would the richest company in Japan not want to do more?
Yeah. Rant over?
What?
Rant over?
Rent over?
Rant over.
Rant over. Yeah, I guess so. Let's move on to the first
I feel that, though.
Fighter Pass 2 was Min
This is where my feelings will start to be more limited, because again, I don't have it.
Okay. Let's really pump these out.
Okay.
Initial and now?
I like Min as a character, and I like her trailer and stuff, but she's not Lola Pop. Lola Pop is my favorite ARMS character, so I was kind of like, okay, and her moveset's pretty fun. I mean, now that, after that, seeing her in action and using her and stuff, she is fun to use, but I have to agree with everybody else, she's pretty dang broken. Like, her reach is insane. So I've seen videos of her just absolutely annihilate people, and it takes you really getting good to beat her down. So she's pretty busted. They need to cut her strings a little bit, but she is a cool addition, and I'm glad we got some ARMS music.
Not strings.
So, there we go.
Cut her noodles.
Yeah, cut your noodles. But yeah, she's cool. She's not Lola Pop. So
How about you, Nint?
I'm honestly not the biggest fan of ARMS. It's okay, but I just didn't find myself liking it, and I have to say, I agree with a close friend of mine that she's really overrated, so I wasn't really fond of her. And I think that Springman got robbed. I know I'm not the creator of ARMS, but I call bullcrap that every character in the roster is the main character. No, it is not. It is
Springman is definitely the main.
I mean,
and I don't
there's
like
a
Springman, and I think he deserved it.
There's a difference between main character and face of the game, I guess. You could kind of argue that Link isn't the main character of Zelda, in a sense.
That is a good point.
And it's like, or Donkey Kong is not the main character of Donkey Kong, but he's the titular character, or however you pronounce the word titular.
Well, I would say DK is the main character of Donkey Kong.
Maybe my example's piss poor, but you get where I'm going with it.
The Link one definitely makes sense, though, because, I mean, it's the Legend of Zelda. It's like, hi, I'm Link,
God.
so...
That joke has been done to no end.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically Link is the main character, but I can't think of a better example at the moment. My mind is not thinking. What a game where the perceived main character. How about Donkey Kong for the original Donkey Kong arcade game?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's why Mario is the most popular spin-off character ever.
Yep. Mr. Jumpman.
So, my thoughts on Min Min was okay. I guess I should have saw this coming, but here comes another Nintendo character to waste the Fighter Pass slots. Was my perception. However, the fact that we had 6, I kind of felt it like throw them a bone kind of thing. Like I wasn't expecting a second Fire Pass, but even if I would have been expecting 5 characters. And so for Min Min to take up the 6th kind of felt like the bonus Piranha Plant, even though it wasn't. So I was like, eh. But I also really like Min Min's design. And as a character, she seems cool. So looking, now I'm just like, she's interesting. I'm not that good with her, but she's got a neat enough gimmick for me to be interested in trying her out here and there. So that's kind of where I stand with her. Then next was Steve, right?
Yep.
Thoughts, Alpha? Or now, then and now?
Then immense sadness and angst because I do not like Minecraft. It is, to me, it's just a very visually unappealing game. I know it's a big sandbox. I know it's like the second biggest game in the world. I understand that, but to me, it's just always been an ugly game. After the fact, and getting my hands on Steve and playing as Enderman and not him, I really like his moveset. He really is a lot of fun to use. And I love how it literally is like Minecraft and Smash, even with all the stupid animations. That was my biggest gripe, and still is my biggest gripe with him. But I would much rather have that than the grotesque, realistic Steve that I've seen around the internet.
It's just a meme.
Yeah, I know. I'm just glad
that it didn't
go like
this harness with memes.
Yeah, but even the Telltale Games version, I'm glad they went with this one over that one. So.
Oh yeah, Minecraft Story Mode is phenomenal. I'm really sad that people hate that. It's awesome.
How about you, Nint? Initial versus now with Steve?
So, don't get the wrong idea. Steve has never been one of my most wanted characters, but I wholeheartedly love Minecraft. It's probably the game I've spent the most time playing in my life across many different systems. So, even though I didn't want him in Smash, I was happy that Minecraft got acknowledged, and I really wish I could play as him because of how fun Chris described him to be as.
See, for me, my initial was, again, no. But because I felt like, I mean, technically he deserved to be being the most popular video game. Minecraft.
It's either him or a Tetris block.
I mean, it was like, I feel like that's a technicality, even if it's not. It's kind of like, he's kind of like the Mickey Mouse of video games. I mean, Mario is, but like people were arguing that he kind of was because Minecraft was like the most financially successful, and I just felt like that was a technicality. He's
the Pikachu of the video games because when we talk about media franchises, Pokemon dwarfs Disney. So,
and looking at it now, I'm like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, and his moveset is kind of fun. I just don't really care. If a character's moveset is fun, but I'm not too fond of the character, I'm probably not going to play the character. Conversely, if a character has a crappy moveset and it's a character I like, I will probably still try to use the character and then be disappointed that I can't use them afterwards. It's like I'm more attracted to using a character I know and love versus how they play. Which is why I always tried to use Mewtwo in Melee and got destroyed.
I'm so glad they buffed him in later games. He's great now. I'm so
also happy. Why I attempted to use Bayonetta a couple of times and got destroyed, because I know she's kind of broken, but at the same time I feel like she's only broken if you know how to use her, and I don't.
Well, she's definitely been tempered back in this game. She was broken in Smash 4, but she's definitely been neutered, had her wings split.
Very rarely pick her up just to give her a shot because I like her as a character, but I just can't play as her. I'm not expecting to win.
I couldn't play as her in Smash 4. I sure can't do it now, so...
So next was Sephiroth. We kind of talked about it before, but initial versus now?
Awestruck wonder because it's Sephiroth. I mean, and when I heard One Winged Angel start, oh gosh, I love that theme so freaking much. That is easily one of the best villain themes in gaming, if not the best.
Yeah.
That is my main reason for loving Sephiroth and Smash is that we got One Winged Angel. But once you play as him, man, he's a lot of fun. He's very light, so I'm used to playing with like Mewtwo and stuff, so I'm used to that.
Yeah.
But he's very fun to use. I really like his moveset. Especially he just casually throws a nuke out of his hand. I love that. He's super fun. The dude is jacked beyond belief.
He's my gosh.
A cool villain, and I just love the music that he brought with him. So probably top 3 DLC fighters, honestly. I mean,
there's not many good DLC fighters, is there?
Not for me.
So. The only good one is Banjo and Steve.
Yeah,
but
it's
mostly
like
Banjo
first, and for me, and then it's like, all right, who was okay after that?
Yeah. And I'm like Nit. I first learned about Sephiroth from Kingdom Hearts 2 and getting spanked by him in the boss fight against him. So
I never fought Sephiroth.
I just imagine like you bent over Sephiroth's knee and he's just spanking you.
Deal, boy. Dude, oh gosh. That boss fight was insane. Where he's just like, show me your strength. That's enough. And then if you don't press it in time, I remember the first time my brother and I first fought him, and he just lunged at us and then killed us instantly. We were like, what? So
it's like, why didn't Sephiroth deal with his like Xemnas?
That's good. That's a good point. Oh man, that'd have been a quick fight.
Sora beat Sephiroth, so Sora more powerful. It's like a guy with a gun versus like Goku. It's like Goku will win because he has to, but if he's caught off guard, he'll probably be killed by the bullet.
But then Goku can also come back, so because fiction.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, it's a sort of okay analogy. It's like, yeah, you have the power to kill Sora, but like if Sora blocks it, he's gonna beat you.
Yeah.
Because he has to. Nint, thoughts on Sephiroth?
Why are you not Sora or Gino? Rant out of the way. Again, I don't dislike Sephiroth, but yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. I think I'm exactly the same. The only attachment to Gino I have is because of Papa Genos, and I'm like, now I want him in because I've heard Papa Genos talk about him so much that he's become it's like if Gino gets in, it's like, oh, Papa Genos is in Smash. But also I like Gino's design, and I know he has a lot of fans, and like I never played Super Mario RPG. I want to. I don't know anything about Gino, but his design looks cool, and the difficulty in the rights behind it has me wanting to see him appear on top of Sakurai, wanting him in. And he's a cartoony character as opposed to all these realistic humans.
Finally!
Yeah. So, like, realistic humans in Smash are okay, but not when they outnumber the cartoony by, like, 90%.
Unless they're Sora.
Yeah. Sora, I feel like it kind of fall in between.
Yeah, me too.
So initial was like
Mario.
why is this not Sora or Gino? But I also like Final Fantasy VII, so I was like, okay, I guess if I can't get Gino or Sora, this is a good, like, backup, or whatever you would refer to that as, like, second option, third option, whatever. And I like what he brought with him. He brought what Cloud should have had. He brought what the base game should have had. So,
That's
like,
true.
And since Mewtwo is probably my main, Sephiroth feels like Mewtwo with a sword. Mm-hmm. So, but that doesn't mean I'm good with him because he does play different enough. But like he's fun, and if you pull off that victory, you get that badass victory screen. So like he's fun addition. He's probably my second or third favorite DLC fighter, and everyone else sucks after that. It's like Banjo Kazooie at first. I think Hero might be second because of like all the story I told you guys behind it, and now liking Dragon Quest, I like Hero, and Sephiroth's probably third because he's Sephiroth, and I do like Final Fantasy, and everybody else is just like garbage. Where's the next character?
I feel that about Sora though. Like it did hurt seeing Sephiroth at the same time because it was like, well, he's cool, but there goes Sora's last chance. I've already accepted Sora and Master Chief aren't happening. I'm thinking more and more that Shantae is just not going to happen at this point. Holding out hope.
I want to see a Sora reveal trailer that mimics the Sephiroth reveal trailer. So it's Darkon attacking like all the characters in the world dark instead, and it's like he powers up an attack, and then like he gets a slice go down him, but then like it zooms in, and then the music is just like once the Simple and Clean kicks in, like after the initial, and it just like pounds in, or maybe there's there probably is a much better like Kingdom Hearts theme that can be used, but like if like Kingdom Hearts music just picks up. Oh, Sanctuary is great too. Like if Kingdom Hearts music just picks up, like where the One Winged Angel picked up for Sephiroth, you just see like Sora kind of floating in the air using his glide technique or whatever. After he just cut Darkon in half, I would be like, oh my god!
I would ascend out of my body. Yeah. I would be so happy. I would be crying so much.
Because I feel like the Sephiroth reveal trailer was going to be a Sora reveal trailer in a sense. Because I was like, it kind of had that feeling of like a dark. Well, it was kind of a dark versus light, and I was like, Sora is the light. So like Galeem is, I don't want to say false light because he is the light in Smash, but he's still. I don't know if he would say he's evil. It's just there's this battle of dark versus light, and it's like whatever gets in one side's way is going down. So like, I feel like it was kind of like Sora defeating Galeem would kind of be like taming the light in a sense. Mm-hmm. And I was like kind of expecting Sora, but then Sephiroth just appeared so quickly, and I was like, oh, this is. I remember not knowing how to feel. I was like, what? I was like, this should be Sora, but also this is okay. But yeah, he's fun. I like what he brought to Smash.
Besides Dr. Eggman, I feel like he's the last video game villain we really needed. Of course, like Neo Cortex would be cool if we got Crash, but I really think Eggman and Sephiroth were the last two like game villains we needed.
God, so. I really thought this whole conversation was going to be like 5 minutes, and it took up like the entire podcast. Like we're not going to get to talk about E3 or anything.
Or Sonic.
So let's try to finish it up. Mythra, Pyra and Mythra, initial and now. Alpha.
Initial. I've never played Xenoblade. I don't plan to. But I've always thought Pyra and Mythra were pretty cool characters. I'm a Pyra guy. I like Pyra more. I just like the more calm, happy girl over the snarky, jerky girl. That's just me. But yeah, the reveal trailer was really cool for me just because it was like, oh man, we got another spirit fighter in here. And of course that renewed my hope for Shantae, but that's seeming less and less likely. But the fact we got two spirit characters in one pass was really cool. And it's another female character, so that's really cool as well. 2 in 1, by the way. But after the fact, the most of the hype came from, oh, cool, another spirit fighter. And I mean, I do like them, their personality and stuff. But actually getting to play as them, really like their moveset, especially Pyra. She hits hard. Mythra is so fast, holy cow. And they are fun to switch between. I just mostly stick to Pyra because she is a tank. But
How about you, Nit?
I'm sorry to hear that, Chris, because this is where I need to vent again. I didn't care about them when they were announced, and even afterward, I was annoyed by some guy just because I critiqued how I don't even know if I should say this. You know what? For the sake of this, I'm not going to.
All right.
I critiqued how big certain features were, leaving it at that. And I was basically demonized for that. And now I have a strong dislike for Pyra. Not Mythra, but Pyra. There's only one fire girl I like, and it is not her.
Who's the fire girl you like?
Come on, that's a dumb
question.
Blaze, yeah.
Okay, so for me, Pyra and Mythra, I missed like the first few seconds of that direct because I was making myself a cup of coffee, and I was like, come on, and I was like running back to the computer with the cup in my hand as like the trailer was playing. So did it start with the Smash logo?
No, it just went straight into. I don't think it did,
because my initial thoughts were, I missed the Smash logo, so I didn't even know it was a Smash game.
It did not, because then I would have known right away as soon as I saw Rex. I was like, oh, Rex and Smash, but there was no.
So
it just faded straight into the trailer.
Yeah. Now, I've learned early on that when you see, like, not final development or whatever it says at the bottom, it's pretty much Smash. So, like, when I saw that, but I didn't see the Smash logo in the beginning. I was like, is this Smash? Like, I didn't know. So, that made it interesting. But when I saw Pyra and then she turned around and with the Smash envelope, I was like, oh... No. Now, Pyra and Mythra, sure. But then they grew on me because their designs were cool. Because they're cute girls, I guess. It's like one of the reasons that female Byleth grew on me. But the other was also I like Fire Emblem. But I always wanted to get into Xenoblade Chronicles, and I just never did. And that on top of, when I used to watch on occasion Etika streams, rest in peace Etika, he would have this statue of Pyra and Mythra behind him, I believe, or one of them. And I know he would always talk about it being one of his baby girls, like one of his waifus. So I would like see that, and I'd be like, oh, that seems like a cool character design. I don't know what Xenoblade is. And then like a friend of mine was telling me that they were playing the one on 3DS and it was good. And so it was always in the back of my mind, like, oh, I want to play this eventually. So when Pyra and Mythra came out, I was like, I guess it's time to get into Xenoblade. And I bought the games. I'm playing through Xenoblade Definitive Edition. I have like a week or two hiatus because I just got busy with other stuff. And I'm just like, I know where I left off. I just got to pick it up and continue playing it. So initial was, okay. And now it's like, okay. And so finally, thoughts on Kazuya. Well, we only have the initial right now, and I get versus where you kind of stand before the direct now.
First reveal, I was so confused at first. I was like, "Who is this?" And then when it zoomed into his face, I was like, I saw him immediately. I recognized who it was, and I was like, "Who is that?" And then it popped his name up, so I was just like, I remember people's faces over people's names all the time in real life as well as fictional. But yeah, I saw him immediately. I was like, I saw the haircut, and I was like, Tekken. And then when I saw his name, I was like, oh, okay. And that because I knew that he was some relation to Heihachi, and then seeing him in action, I was like, oh, I'm gonna suck with this dude. So yeah, he has a cool moveset, and I loved his trailer, especially the part where he kicked Min off and they kicked her arm into the lava. That was the best part. But he just like Tekken definitely deserves a spot, and Namco finally got another fighter. Finally. Yeah. Second to last character possibly. But there's so many, like you said earlier, there's so many more characters that I would rather have in over a Tekken fighter. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Tekken deserves it. Namco deserves it for all their hard work. I just wish it was somebody else.
You know what I think would be a better approach to the fighters? Instead of making passes with a block of slots, to just continuously release one character at a time without like an end date. Now I know having a block of characters builds up the hype and builds up the talk and the speculation, and I hate to say it, but the fighting of like, oh, this character deserves to be in these 5 slots. Whereas if it's dealt more like a Fortnite or something, where it's like, oh, here's the new character. It's like there's no end in sight. It's kind of like, okay, so we got a new character coming out. It's like, oh, who is it this time? Like it alleviates the fear of, oh no, now these characters are not going to get in. I think that would be at least a more pain relieving approach to the DLC.
Like, so and so didn't get in this time, but that doesn't mean they won't get in later.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's like, oh, Sephiroth got in. Okay, I mean, maybe next time Sora will get in. Where now it's kind of like you kind of have your mind wrapped around, okay, they probably approached a number of companies for this pass. So this pass will probably not have that company repeating. So it's like you build up all these unofficial rules, which are like practically official in a sense. Like from like a business perspective, unless you think they're really going to get 2 companies in one pass, but I really don't know. That's neither here or there. But overall, it just feels like a better approach to keep the hype going indefinitely would be to just not have a fighter's pass and to just do one character at a time, like what Smash for Wii U and 3DS was doing. There was I don't think there was a fighter's pass for that, was there? No. It was just like, oh, here's a new character. So, there was no like perceived end in sight. But then when they kind of said there was one, then that's when it kind of got to what it is now. But Nint, your thoughts on Kazuya then and
I don't care.
Sword of Now.
I don't care. I just can't wait for this game to die.
So
and I really, can I be honest? I really don't like how dark this game's trailers are. He literally throws characters in lava. Like, why are all these trailers so freaking dark? Oh, sure, because even though he's a classic purist, this is the only series apparently Sakurai cares about Kirby, even though he's a purist with him.
So, for me, initial was, now we only have one slot left. And now it's like, we only have one slot left.
Yeah.
I just don't care about Tekken. I mean, they deserve to be in, I suppose. I just don't have the history with it. I think I've played a couple games and was like, oh, some of these characters are kind of cool, but I don't care. That's not to say they don't deserve to be in it. That's not to say any of these characters don't deserve that. You know, it's just my personal feeling was, come on.
Yeah. Now, if Kuma had gotten in instead because Kuma's my Tekken main when I played in the arcades, then it would have been different. So, but oh my gosh, it's Kuma! So
I still don't know why.
Yeah, Kuma would have been more fun.
Yeah.
We don't. Well, wait. Of course, we have a Baron Smash. It's Banjo.
That would have been a funny trailer, but Banjo like go. And then just looks up and humongous actual grizzly bear.
I really want to see that now.
It'll just be a repeat. It'll just be a repeat of the K. Rool and Banjo trailer where Banjo's wearing Kuma's outfit.
I do agree with you. I don't want that joke to become, repetitive.
So, I guess that's that. We just went through all our perspectives on the Fighters Pass DLCs up till now. Do you guys still have time?
Yeah! I got nothing to do every single night. I love talking to you guys.
I can stick around for about 15 more minutes, then I gotta cut out.
Let's jump into, real quick, E3. It was disappointing.
Yep, me too. There was literally nothing I cared about. And, in fact, the one thing I did care about, it was for the freaking cloud, which was not described in the trailer. So that left me hurting even more.
Yeah, they should have definitely put that in the trailer.
It was for the what?
The Guardians of the Galaxy game. It's a cloud save game.
All I wanted was Kirby news, and I didn't get that.
I gotta say, Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, when they were showing it, I was like, okay, this seems neat. I might try it out. And it just kept going and going and going. And it was like 20, 25 minutes of that. And I was just so done with Square Enix at that point.
Oh, it's another Square Enix Marvel game?
Yeah. And then not only that, but then throughout their presentation, they had to keep talking about Marvel here and there. It's like they brought up the fact that they still had Avengers on life support. And I was just like, come on. And
that's a game that needs to die.
And then they revealed Final Fantasy 1 through 6, like mobile and Steam ports. It's like I guess they're kind of like 8-bit remasters, but it's only for Steam and mobile. And I never played them. I didn't have an attachment to those games. But for those who do, I can feel the pain. It's like Square Enix, along with almost everyone, along with almost every game developer this year, just dropped the ball. Aside from Nintendo.
That's what I'm saying. Nintendo is honestly the only E3 presentation I watched, because I really do not care about any other company.
My perspective of Nintendo at E3 this year was that was okay, but the fact that everyone else dropped the ball was like, you won E3, but only by technicality, because you actually had stuff. Now, I never played a Metroid game. I want to, real bad, but at this point I feel like I'm never going to get to play one, because my OCD only lets me play things in release order. So, or about release order, like, for the most part, or chronological order. So I'm like, I'm not going to play a Metroid game unless I play all the other ones. And how do I play all the other ones? It's like, how am I going to get to play Prime? Do I have to, like, get the game on Wii and then, like, and then find my Wii, hook it up, and play? Like, I don't think I'm going to do that. Unless they port Prime Trilogy to the Switch, which they sound like they're not going to, I just feel like I'm never going to get to play Metroid.
That's one thing Nintendo really needs to work on is legacy content, because PlayStation does it, Microsoft does it. They are dropping the ball hardcore because there's so many older games that you cannot play now. Because either the system is way too old if people just keep playing it. I mean, because every system is going to die eventually. I mean,
understand.
GameCube, DS, everything's going to die eventually.
I understand
You've got to keep bringing them up.
I understand Nintendo's in the right with this, but I almost want to yell at them for getting rid of ROMs, because I feel like sometimes that's the only way to play some of their stuff.
It is.
Now I know they have a lot of
games.
I know they have a lot of Nintendo and Super Nintendo stuff on like the Switch eShop and things like that. But I feel like I want to say like ROMs are digital only, so I can't complain. Like it's like, oh, I don't want to play a download only game, so I'm going to play a ROM. It's like, well, that's also download only. But also, I just feel like is playing an emulation on the Switch really the way to play the game? Like they're not in the wrong, but maybe morally they're not in the right. I don't know. I don't know what to think, but I just feel like there's got to be a way to play the entire library, and I don't know how that is. And sometimes a ROM is the answer, and it's like, yeah, you're in the right when you shut it down, but
dude, they'd make so much money porting all the old Mario and Zelda and Pokemon and Metroid and Kirby games and Donkey Kong and F-Zero and Punch-Out. Just bring all these old games back and just have them available there. If people want to buy them, they're going to buy them, and they'll buy the same game they bought before, but because it's on Switch and they can play it on the Switch instead of their old N64 or their old SNES, they'll play it on the Switch because it's the Switch. And so they'll give us the games.
It's like getting a kid to try to eat his greens. It's like, it's good for you, come on, do it, but they're not going to do it.
I don't think I would rebuy a Kirby game unless it was like an HD remake. Like, for example, Kirby Fighters 2 has a stage from Planet Robobot, and they made a whole brand new model for one of the mini bosses. It basically looks like Planet Robobot HD. If they would do that, I would buy it again. But if it was just a port, I'm happy with the 3DS.
See, my thing is, there's so many games that I have never played from old systems that I would love to play. I just don't have the system, and I don't have the money to buy the system and the old games because they're all stupid expensive now. And it just, I don't have the chance to play a lot of these older games. So I wish that they would port stuff. Like, yeah, remakes are nice, yeah, remasters are nice, but I would like to sometimes just play the original game to see how far the series has come. I mean, I wish I'd bought the original Red and Blue on the on the 3DS eShop. I may eventually, but you know, if they had done that and been like, well, it's Red and Blue remastered, it's like, yeah, that's cool, but it's not Red and Blue. It's Red and Blue remastered. It's not the original.
Which game?
It's Red and Blue. Pokemon Red and Blue.
Pokemon.
They had it on the 3DS eShop that you could put on the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if they brought it to the Switch as like a remastered version, it's like, yeah, that's cool, but it's not Red and Blue. It's not like a virtual time capsule of how far the series has come.
Pikachu and Eevee are.
Yeah, it's
unfortunately.
That's basically what all that is. Yeah, it's just like Go and
Here's
Red and Blue had a baby, and it's like boom, there you go, give us $60. So yeah, it's just, and I like that the Virtual Console games were pretty much very affordable. Like Shantae was $5, Pokemon Red and Blue were like $10 a piece. They're very affordable games. It's like people will buy them if you just port them to the Switch, because a lot of us don't have these older systems. I mean, when I was growing up, I had like a PlayStation and a Game Boy, and that was pretty much it. And then as I got older, we got like a Wii, and my brother got a PS3 and a PS4, and I got the Switch, obviously, and we got 3DSs and stuff. So our libraries grew as we got older, but you know, when you're young and all you've got's a computer, a PS2, and a Game Boy, it's like, my games are kind of limited. So a lot of games I used to miss out on, I would love to play now, but I can't. You know, I never got an N64. I never got an SNES. Actually, I did have a Super Nintendo, but rain ruined it. So yeah, I hadn't played Donkey Kong Country or Super Mario World for years. So that was actually my first game, was Donkey Kong Country. But yeah, That's the oldest system I'd owned.
Wait, what was your first system, Alpha?
First system I ever had was a Super Nintendo. That is the SNES, right? Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Okay. Because for years I was like, I've never played SNES. I was like, wait, that's a Super Nintendo.
How about you, Nin?
Yes.
My first console? N64.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Mine was Sega Genesis.
Dinosaur.
You're
not that much older than me. I just barely missed that, so I just barely missed the Genesis.
I don't know, I was a Sonic kid. I grew up on Sonic and I love Sonic, which is actually the perfect segue to talk about Sonic's 30th, because there's nothing else to talk about at E3.
Don't you mean Segaway?
Oh my god.
That joke.
I just got that too.
Segway got Happy Wheels.
I get it when you said it. That's why there was a pause. And then I got it. And I just was like, But that was good. That was good fun. I just didn't get it. But yeah, I want to get into Sonic talk, because that was it for E3. There's nothing else to talk about. I mean, was there? Anybody looking forward to anything else that was announced at E3?
It was cool to see Advance Wars come back, but I'd probably...
Way Forward's doing it, so...
Yeah, I do like the animation style because of that. That is really cool.
I can't remember anything else from E3. That's how big of a bust it was this year.
Breath of the Wild 2 looks cool. I'll probably possibly get Metroid Dread, just depends.
Still nothing. I mean, I was going to get Breath of the Wild 2 anyway, so there's nothing new that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
That's not to say anything bad about Metroid Dread. I just never played Metroid. I mean,
it's fun.
I would like to
that,
play it, but I can't play it unless I play the other games.
I do actually have the original Metroid on my 3DS Virtual Console. I started it and haven't touched it in years now because that is a tough game.
Did they announce at E3 one of the shows, the Sonic Colors Ultimate?
I am looking forward to that.
Yes.
I never played the original, so...
How about you, Alpha? Did you play Sonic Colors Ultimate?
I've never played a Sonic game.
You said Ultimate, is not even out yet.
People kind of give it crap, saying, "Oh, why are they remaking Colors and not something else?" I don't know if remake is the right word. I honestly have no idea how much work they're putting into it.
Upgraded port. That's what I call it. An upgraded port.
Is there visual enhancements too? Are they doing any of them?
A little bit.
Okay. Because I actually have no idea. I thought that they were kind of remaking some of it. Now, Colors, I thought was probably one of the best modern Sonic games, because it just felt like what modern Sonic should be, and it played very well. So I think that a upgraded, enhanced port of Colors is a perfect game to bring over to the Switch. Where's Generations? I don't know, but I hope that comes next too, because I loved that.
That's one game I'd probably play if I played a Sonic game, was Generations. I like that it's modern and classic Sonic. I do like that.
Just randomly, because I was staying up real late last night to just work on my digital portfolio website, and I was listening to music, and I just felt like, because they had the orchestra for the Sonic orchestra for his 30th anniversary, and it just got me in the mood to listen to some Sonic music. So I just started listening to the whole Sonic Generations soundtrack, and I'm just like, Sonic music's good.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll probably have some playing right now if you're listening to this.
In the future.
You hear this, future selves? Oh, this is good music.
Whoa, he called it. Yeah, Live and Learn is one of my favorite songs.
Live and Learn.
We were talking about for you.
There's a tomorrow. Crush 40
Yeah,
is
why
awesome.
did they not have the one song I wanted them to play in the God, I can't talk today or ever, can I? The one song I wanted them to have in the orchestra was What I'm Made Of from Sonic Heroes, but they skipped it. They did play other songs that were good. Mint, what do you want to talk about for Sonic? Because I know you were excited to talk about Sonic.
And that actually is a good time for me to probably cut out, because it is getting kind of late for me. So.
Okay. Unless there's anything you want to talk about before you head out.
I don't really have anything to add about Sonic other than
or just
I
in
like
general,
Vector the most. So just.
Not necessarily Sonic, but just in general. Before we jump into Sonic.
Nothing really. Like you said, E3 was kind of overall. I know we'll have a lot to talk about next week when Kazuya comes out. So when we actually get our hands on him and play him. So.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, before Chris leaves, there was actually something that Drew said regarding a character being announced, but thinking about who they took place. Because I actually have a rather interesting thing to say regarding that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And this is regarding Greninja in Smash 4.
I forgot Greninja was in the game.
That's funny. So,
I wanted him to be Mewtwo when he was revealed. When I saw him standing on the tree branch, I was like, Mewtwo? And
you're not the first person. What? You're not the first person.
I know. I'm glad I'm not the first person.
I thought it was Mewtwo too.
Yeah. Mewtwo!
And I was like, that's not Shadow Ball.
Yeah.
That's a pretty blue energy, huh? He must be a really good too. Oh, it's not.
It's Ice Beam! Wait, what is that?
Alright, anyway. So, I have a rather big personal gripe with the Pokemon roster in Smash. There's too many starters. Like, I get it, they're iconic and they're your first partner in the game, but Pokemon is known for more than just the starters. I want someone new, someone more special.
That's a very good point when you look at how Min got over Springman.
Exactly. So, here's where things get interesting. I actually firmly believe that Greninja took a Pokemon that is arguably more important to the 6th generation. And I know you're gonna laugh at me for this, but once I explain, Chris knows,
Oh yeah.
Now you're probably gonna laugh, but really, Sylveon is more important than you think. She's technically the first Fairy type Pokemon. Like, she introduced the Fairy type.
That is a very good point.
First in the terms of introducing, yes.
Yeah.
She reined in the Fairy type energy. Yeah. The fairy type.
And because
she
Smash
used to announce it.
Yeah, and because Smash is so apparently butthurt about legacy and importance, you're saying that Greninja is more important than a Pokemon that literally introduced a brand new type to the series? Kind of flawed logic, if you ask me.
And that's because Greninja was Ash's Pokemon, so had that Pikachu syndrome.
This is true. Same thing with Incineroar, I'm sure.
And Charizard, Mewtwo was in the movie. But I mean, also these Pokemon that I just named are popular anyway.
Oh yeah, which Sylveon is also very popular. So popularity is not an issue. So
Squirtle to have that.
I actually made my own moveset for Sylveon long ago.
I actually remember seeing that. You showed me.
Yep.
There's one or two moves that I won't deny could use a bit upgrading, but I'm still very proud of what I came up with.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do if Sakurai came to you personally, Nint, and said, I don't like that you don't like this game, so I'm adding Sylveon in and you could design it? What would your thoughts be on it?
Well, first of all, I would... Why are you laughing?
I don't know, your reaction was kind of funny. You're like,
it's just...
well,
no, but
first of all... That's why.
No, but this isn't like an angry it's more of like a sad, feel bad Because the thing with Ultimate is, I understand that it was like Sakurai's last tribute to Iwata, which that alone makes me want to cry and feel even worse for hating the game so much. But anyway, back to your question. First of all, I would say sorry that I'm so upset about it. But if he were to actually do that, I would be really hyped and overwhelmed, first of all. And second, if you mean in terms of how I'd like to design the moveset, I'd basically incorporate what I came up with. Except for maybe, again, the few things that I needed to upgrade, because they were kind of after reviewing it. But yeah, and also, I'd replace Greninja. I'm sorry. I don't even hate Greninja, but no more starters.
And I could see in the direct for Sylveon, you'd be sitting next to Sakurai. And Sakurai would turn to you and say, just for you, Nint, And he would say Nint. He wouldn't say your name. He would say just
yeah.
Say this Sylveon is female.
I cannot believe you just did that. Is it because of our DMs?
Yes, it is. But it's also backed because Chris said... You got me saying Chris instead of Alpha now. But Chris / Alpha said she, and that sparked my memory. I was like, oh yeah.
I despise the gender ratio so much.
It is odd. It is
I don't like genders in Pokemon. It's just like, in the terms of Sylveon, I just like Sylveon is Sylveon. It's not like he or she. It's just it. Like every Pokemon is it to me. But I guess they had to do it for the whole egg thing and the breeding. But I mean, I would have preferred it to not have genders. It's just like, I mean, if there could be a female Mr. Mime, why can't there be a female Nidoking? Which I don't get.
Which Mr. Mime was the English translation of it. That's not the original Japanese. I don't even know what it is in Japanese. Because I assume it's not Mr. But I don't know. But yeah, I agree. It's weird that you can have a female Mr. Mime, and then a topless female Machamp. So. Oh my gosh. I've just always been like, I just wish there was better gender differences in Pokemon.
Especially because then it doesn't make sense when there are genderless Pokemon.
Yeah.
I wish they could just drop the gender thing. But I guess at this point it's too late. Sorry, go ahead.
I actually came up with a fan concept for a male Sylveon that I actually turned into my own character in my story series.
Okay.
I remember you telling me about your series or something, but I didn't really understand if it was like a fan thing or what it was.
It was a fan thing.
Okay. But anyway, before we jump into Sonic, was there anything else you want to talk about, Chris? We probably won't talk about Sonic for too much longer because I gotta go back and listen to this entire thing and edit it.
Gotta add that Sonic music in there.
The more stuff we have, the more stuff we talk about means the more time I have to spend tonight listening to.
Don't overwork yourself, though.
I know, but I want to try to get it out like the day we talk about it.
Yeah, but still.
I'm all good. There's really not much about E3 to talk about besides Kazuya and Metroid Dread and Advance Wars. That really grabbed my attention. And like I said, I haven't really been playing much new stuff lately, so.
Alright. So Alpha's got to head out, and so Nint and I, once Alpha heads out, Nint and I will, just wrap up the conversation with Sonic. So Alpha, was there anything you want to leave off with?
Hope you guys have a good week. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see y'all next time.
Alrighty.
All right,
Alpha.
Have a good night.
Alright. Nint, so I guess before we head out, now that Alpha's gone, did you have anything in particular from the Sonic 30th anniversary that you were excited about?
Aside from Colors Ultimate, not really. Oh, there is of course the Sonic Prime show.
Oh yeah, well, I mean they didn't announce stuff about it. It's just that leaks came out.
Yeah.
So, I wish, and I wasn't expecting this, but I was hoping that the alternate universes would be the various different medias that we've seen from Sonic, but I knew deep down that's never gonna happen. But I was really hoping to see all the different Robotniks team up, like the one from Saturday AM / Archie, the one from Adventures, the one from Sonic Boom, the mainline Eggman, I guess Nega, just all the different Robotniks. It would have been real cool to see them, and then the different iterations of Sonic. But I wasn't expecting it, and even still, I'm still disappointed. I wasn't expecting it, and I was still let down that it wasn't it.
Yeah,
it's like that. It's like that meme from Malcolm in the Middle. I forget the character's name, but he's like, I expect nothing, and I'm still disappointed. It's I was not expecting all the past incarnations from various media, but I was let down when it wasn't. So, but we'll see. Maybe it'll still be a really good show. Again, really wish they that would have been perfect for a 30th anniversary. But I think because I think the summary or description of the show mentioned exploring the history of Sonic or something, like the history of the series, and it was like, are they actually going to do it? The Madmen, are they actually going to do it? It's like, no, they're just going to make up characters from alternate universes. Like, oh, okay, that sucks. Sigh.
Yeah.
So you're into the IDW comics. Did you read yet the classic comic that came out?
No, but I'm looking forward to it. In fact, I'm happy that comes out before Volume 9.
So you're waiting for the book to be released of it, right?
Yep.
Okay. Are you gonna rebuy all the comics in the collection that's coming out, like the IDW collection, Volume 1?
Nah, I don't do that.
See, I actually double bought stuff because I bought the comics. I was buying the physical copies for a little bit, and then I stopped because I wanted to read it digitally because I didn't want to. Because I have this OCD. I always say OCD, but it really is. It really is. I think I do actually have OCD, so it's even worse in that sense. But I do have an OCD / preference of if I open. Do you remember in Rocko's Modern Life when?
Yeah.
What was his name? Phil Laterral. He'd be turn the page, wash your hands. That's how I feel.
I didn't watch it.
I have this mentality of this book has to be minty fresh, and if I touch it, the oils on my fingers are going to ruin this book. So I get so particular about turning the pages, and then my OCD says, "Oh wait, you missed what you just read." So it's oh, now I got to turn back the other page just to double check if I read that correctly. And I find myself flipping back and forth through the same page sometimes. And I'm this would be so much easier if I just swap between 2 JPEGs on Amazon Kindle or something. So I stopped buying the physical comics and figured if I want to physically own it, I'll buy the volumes, which is what I want to do anyway, because I want to have something I can put on my bookshelf. So I stopped buying the comics, and then I started buying them on IDW's app. And then I went back and just to feed my OCD's need for a complete collection, went back and bought the first batch of issues that I already own. And so I had all the issues on the IDW app. And then they recently ran into something where I guess whoever was running their app, whatever company it was, because they weren't doing it in-house, I guess, or I don't know what the issue was, but they went under, and so they had to redo their app. So their IDW's new version of their app, I commend them for getting something up, but it's kind of garbage. and I mean that in a very, I don't mean that in an offensive way. I want to be constructive about it. You don't have the ability to sort through things. If you want to click to buy something, at least for me, when I clicked buy, nothing happened. So it's the buy button didn't work. Stuff that was coming soon didn't say coming soon. So I'm why can't I buy this? Because I didn't remember when it was supposed to release. And it was just overall a mess. And so I was getting really frustrated. And then I found out that all of the issues are downloadable for Kindle and Comixology, which was not an option for the Archie books, at least for the majority of its run. So after having already bought them all on the IDW app, which for some reason I can't view anywhere else, you would think that if you bought them off of IDW's app, you would have access to the files that you bought on their website. So I was a little frustrated that it's kind of the only way to read their stuff from the IDW app is on the app. Meanwhile, if I bought the digital copy from their store, I could own a PDF of it, in which, so I was a little frustrated. It's I already bought this. Why don't I have the digital copy? Why is it only through your app? And then I found them, when I found them on Amazon, it was like, oh, all the back issues are only like $1.99. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet because I already used Kindle to, I haven't read it in a while, but I was reading all of Alita Battle Angel, and yeah, and so that's what got me, because I always wanted to check out the manga, and when I saw the movie, I was like, all right, now it's time to check out the manga. And so I think I'm at the end or towards the end of the second series, which is Last Order, and then the third one is Mars Chronicle or something like that, Chronicle of Mars or something along that line. So I'm like in the last like volume or so of Last Order. So I was like, I use Kindle for this. I have it. They have the one-click buy. So let me just buy the issue. So I bought them all, and it's like, oh, they neatly organize it on Kindle. I'm like, this is so much better than the current state of the IDW app. Plus, there's probably, I don't want to jinx it, but there's probably there's probably a significantly less chance of Amazon's Kindle going under than IDW's app. So I was like, I think it's safer to have them here. So now I double bought all the comics to have on Kindle.
Oh my god!
So I have 2 copies of all of them digitally. And then I'm like, if something happens to this app, I'm not going to own it. So now I'm contemplating going back and buying them all a third time, digitals from IDW store to have all the PDFs. I'm thinking that, but I don't know if I'm going to do that because that's too much money and I already own it and I'm not going to read it.
Like, come on!
And I also want to buy the physical books to actually have physically, so I'm like, maybe I don't need to get the PDFs because I'm going to buy them a third time in the graphic novel prints. Yeah. I wish there was a way for me to say, like, to show them, like, here, I bought this on your app, so give me it free everywhere else. But that's not the way it works.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of, well, actually, I did buy the digital copy from their store of the 30th anniversary. So that I have a PDF of because I bought it from their store. Then I bought it on Kindle because I want to have it in my collection of Sonic comics on Kindle. And I don't know if I'm going to continue buying stuff on the IDW app because I just feel like there's a good chance that, like, it might fall apart if they don't fix that app. Or it's like, if anything happens to these purchases, what happens to my files? Like, are they going to gift me the PDFs from their website and be like, oh, we have it in our records that you bought all these comics, so we're going to give you the PDFs. Like, that'd be great. But I also have them on Kindle now, which is a much better app. And I could read other stuff on there too. So I'm like, maybe I'll just switch from the IDW app to Kindle. And then I ran into another big problem when I bought them all, because the way Amazon works is it's, if you want to buy something for Kindle, it's like one click and it's like it automatically buys it for you. So since there was over 50 issues, I just kept like mass buying them. And then I didn't realize, but my debit card only lets me have a limit of 50 purchases a day. And I was like, why can't I use my debit card anymore? I was like flipping out. Like,
you bought 50 things in one day? What the heck?
I guess so. Well, there's close to 40 issues.
All the issues, though.
Yeah, each issue. It was $2. But like, I didn't realize I hit that many purchases. Nor did I realize I spent that much. I should have known. But at that point, I was like, I kind of knew it was going to be around like 100-ish. And I was like, let me just bite the bullet because I want all these. Which makes me sound entitled and rich. But I'm not rich. I just am dumb and careless and reckless. Oh, not smart at all. Just reckless. But it is great seeing that collection because they sort it for you, and you can sort it by release date or by series order or whatever they refer to it as, which is pretty much the same, except for some reason they put 30th anniversary as the first in the series order, but in release order it's at the end because it just came out. So is that supposed to be like because it's classic Sonic, it's the past, but they've already kind of said it's like an alternate dimension Sonic.
You got what you wanted. Long time ago, you told me you wanted a classic Sonic comic, so you basically got what you wanted in a way.
Yeah. Well,
I think you did.
I do want it, but I don't remember saying that. But I do want it. I would love to see an ongoing classic comic that runs like alongside this one, like how Archie was doing the Sonic universe, and then for a little while had Sonic Boom. Like it'd be nice to have an alternate comic to look forward to every month, like 2 comics instead of 1. I don't mind it being a special here and there, like because what they did, like when you read this, it's beautiful, like it's great, it's so good. So you can, I'm telling you, you'll probably enjoy it. Now, in terms of Sonic, do you like Sonic as a whole, or do you just like a couple things like the comic and Blaze and like a couple things here and there? Or do you actually really like the series like I do?
I like the series, but obviously you like it more.
Well,
I mean, when I was a kid, I was not a big fan, but now as an adult, I like it.
Genesis, so I was a Sonic kid. So, but yeah, there's this interesting thing. I don't know why exactly. I don't know if it's a brand thing, but Sega seems very reluctant not to cross over modern and classic characters. So modern Sonic has its modern cast, and classic Sonic has its classic cast. And whatever has like appeared exclusively in one is not going to appear in the other, which is a shame. At least that's how it seems to be at the moment. Excuse me. So you're not going to see modern exclusive characters like Rouge, Shadow, Cream, whatever in the classic books, unless they appear in the games. But you can look forward to seeing some classic characters that have been classic exclusive. They've appeared in Archie because Archie was a little more lenient with that. So like you had classic characters showing up in their modern book, but I think Sega's more watchful of this now, and it's like if you want to see some classic characters, they're going to be in the classic book, and this is a classic book. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy these classic characters that you're never going to see again unless you get another Sonic classic book. And it's beautiful. It looks like, the Sonic Mania cutscenes by Tyson Hesse?
Or like Sonic Mania Adventures?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Well, same artist. It looks like that. Or at the very least is very close to that. So it's just a gorgeous book, definitely worthy of the 30th anniversary title.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 stories in there. The first one takes up a lot more pages. It's like a bulk size story. The second one is quicker, and the third one's quicker, and they're kind of like, haha, that was funny, I guess. And their free comic book day, for some reason, is in August for Sonic. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the pandemic delayed it, but they're having another classic comic in free comic book day. So I'm wondering if the 30th anniversary hardcover release that's coming out will include that as like all the classic stories by IDW combined. And I want to see more. Especially after reading that, because it was good. It was nice seeing some familiar faces after not having seen them for quite some time in a comic book. And it's like, I don't want to spoil it, so that's like,
Yeah.
I want you to get that. I want you to get that description from me and just be like, oh man, I can't wait. Because it's...
Yeah.
So you played Sonic Mania, right?
Yeah, and I beat it. I think Mania was the first Sonic game I ever beat.
Now, have you played the other Genesis games or whatever?
Yeah, I played 3. I played 2. I had Sonic Mega Collection Plus on the PlayStation 2 when I was little, so... Yeah.
So I think so they're coming out with Sonic Origins Collection, which is including Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. Now, the image they showed in that teaser/trailer, they showed Sonic 3's cover, and they showed Sonic and Knuckles' cover. They didn't confirm or deny if we were getting Sonic 3 individually and Sonic and Knuckles individually, but they did say Sonic 3 and Knuckles in the trailer. So, my confusion stems from the fact that although the game was originally intended to be one game and they couldn't fit it on one cartridge, so they put it into two back in the day, they've since sort of, from what I understand, said that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is not canon, and that Sonic 3 is canon and Sonic and Knuckles is canon. And it's kind of like, why? Sonic and Knuckles is better. Sonic 3 and Knuckles is better. It's the version. So I'm wondering if they're going back on that and kind of properly making them. I don't know. So the other thing they recently announced after that announcement was that Sonic 3 and Knuckles was going to be widescreen, which is a first. And they also said that it's not going to be an emulation, but they're like making them for the Switch. So I'm wondering, are they actually like remaking them, or sort of like taking the code and like making it work for the Switch or console or whatever? Like, I don't understand the actual coding behind that or whatever. But I'm also wondering, the Christian Whitehead made Sonic 1 for mobile, Sonic 2 for mobile, and Sonic CD for mobile, and I think the Sonic CD one might have come out on consoles, and they're like the definitive versions to play. That Sonic 1 version, Sonic has the spin dash. When you beat the game, you have the ability to select the stage. You can like try to get the emeralds again, and you can stage select, which is what I just said. You can also play as Tails and Knuckles in Sonic 1. Sonic 2, I think that's the same, but I think they also added the scrapped level of Hidden Palace, which you can access by falling in that death pit in Mystic Cave Zone that is been memed on, where it's just spikes. If you fall down there, you're dead, and if you fall down there supersonic, you just gotta wait for your rings to run out and die. They replaced that pit with the entrance to Hidden Palace Zone. So, like, if you fall down that pit, there's a new zone called Hidden Palace Zone, and they added that in Sonic 2. In Sonic CD, all I know is that you can play as Tails. I don't know what else, because I haven't actually played these because I don't like playing on mobile, and I just didn't play the Sonic CD on console. So I just downloaded, like yesterday, Sonic 1 on mobile, and it's fun. I'm like, this is definitely the definitive version, but I can't play on mobile. I can't play with a touchpad because my finger keeps sliding past the parts of the screen that recognize touch, and so then Sonic stops walking, because it's like I need that pushback from a control pad to tell me, like, okay, I pressed the button. So otherwise my finger slides everywhere, and like if I want to turn to the left, my finger slides past that touch recognition and Sonic just stops. So like if I want to control where I fall in the air, I don't. It's like it's almost, I hate to say this, but it feels to me almost unplayable. Like I kept dying at parts I would never die. I feel like someone who's never played Sonic in his life when I'm playing it on mobile. Like I got 2 game overs in Labyrinth Zone just because I like couldn't walk. I think I tried to jump. There's like where the not conveyor belt, but like where the moving platforms like move around. You have to jump from one platform to the next before it touches the spikes and crushes you. Like I couldn't jump on the other platform, so it's like he just jumped straight up and I got crushed, and I was like, oh, okay. I can't walk in the mobile port, so it's terrible. So I hope that that's the versions that come to the consoles because I want to play the definitive versions, not the ports of the inferior versions now. And I'm hoping that we properly get a definitive edition of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, like the Christian Whitehead version that we were supposed to get, that we never got because they never made it. So yeah, I've talked your ear off long enough, haven't I?
Yeah, you really freaking did. But hey, you're passionate. I get it.
Well,
passion is passion.
So, anything else before we go?
Look, I just hope Blaze appears in more stuff, because I'm really getting freaking sick and tired of her being so underused, and I especially envy Rouge of how she's used so much more than a literal character that's an other dimension version of Sonic, especially when you look at how Marvel treats Miles Morales.
Did you see what I linked in I quoted your name on Twitter for, like, I guess a model was found in Sonic Forces Speed Battle for Percival, which I think is Blaze.
Yeah, but I don't play Speed Battle anymore for the sake of my mental health.
I haven't been playing it either, but I kind of pop on here and there to, like, unlock new characters if I can. And so Super Sonic just appears, but, like, I don't want to play it. I'm kind of, like, a little tired of it, but I want the character. Yeah. So I'm like, so it kind of becomes a chore to turn it on and unlock the character. I'm like, I guess I gotta pay $10 to open the vault and get twice as much stuff.
you buy the vault?
Because I don't want to play it as much as they want me to. It's like, do I have to? Funny... It's like I can have my playtime by giving them $10. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a grind. And if you want to keep, like, if you want to, the ability to unlock the cards for the characters that unlock them, for the missions, every time you complete a mission, you can wait for it to reload fresh,
or you can pay the red star rings.
Pay with the red star rings, and every time you pay, it's like twice. It's like 2, then 4, then 8, and 16. I think so, but I think it's something 5, like that.
Then 25, the cost, and then
yeah, the cost keeps going up so each time. So eventually, you run out of the red star rings, and then sometimes I'll throw down $5-10 just to get more red star rings. And I'm like, Sonic Forces Speed Battle, I'm kind of tired of you. Why am I giving you money? So I don't know. It's the only place you're gonna see Tangle and Whisper playable anytime soon. So
yeah, I'm glad that Percival's at least acknowledged, even though I don't play the game anymore, because my rage quitting was pretty unhealthy with that game. Like, I've actually broken some stuff because of my raging at that game.
Wow. So I'm like, I like what Sonic Forces Speed Battle does. I like that it includes, like, so many different characters to compete against each other. As well as,
even though I don't like all the clones, but whatever.
Yeah, like
I like 4 Shadows now. Like, come on, I don't even like Shadow.
See, like, I love what it does in theory, but in practice, it gets a little annoying. Especially
some characters are OP as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much of a problem with playing against characters. I kind of have a bit of an understanding of, like, you know, which moves I use, which characters to use, and things like that, if I want to get first place, or more likely to get first place. But I wish it wasn't like that. I wish if I liked a character, I can use them, and they'd be just as good as the OP characters. Or, like, if I wanted to level up a character, I don't need 200,000 rings. I think, like, I'm still sitting on a bunch of cards for Excalibur Sonic, and I don't have the rings to upgrade him. It's just like, I'm not paying you $99 to upgrade Excalibur Sonic. So, I guess that's it.
This is a nice big episode.
I know. makes up for the 3-week absence after the 1-year absence. So,
yeah.
All right, that's enough of me ranting in this hot room with crappy circulation, and I'm sweating in my t-shirt. This has been the swampy shirt hour.
Ouch.
No, that's an exaggeration. That's not a swampy shirt. I was just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess that's it. Nint, you're never gonna want to be on another episode because I talked your ear off. You're gonna be like, I'm too busy tonight. Remember when I said that I do nothing every day? Yeah, I do something every night. I can't. That's what you're gonna say next time.
No. That'll never be me, man.
I know.
I miss doing this. I really did. So I'm glad I was able to be in a nice big episode.
And I think Alpha was.
Did you just burp?
No, I drank I have a. What about it?
I swear from here it sounded like a burp.
It went down hard. It was like.
I can't wait to hear that in the final video.
This episode has just devolved. Alpha was the stone. He kept it together. When he left, it fell apart.
Yeah.
Alpha, where are you? Oh, he's gonna have a blast listening to this.
Oh, heck
Let's shake his head in his car. He's gonna be like, "Why do I associate with these people?" Well, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Because I gotta listen to all this again. And I gotta face palm when I get to this part. I gotta face palm when I get to this part. Be like, oh god. I just kept rambling on and on.
Yeah, but again, you're passionate, man.
I'm passionate.
As coming from a passionate guy myself.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think anybody wants to listen to this crap anymore.
Yeah.
If you do, that's what this podcast will turn into from now on. If you guys like it. But I didn't want it to devolve, but I just sort of did. Because it's late. It's late, and I'm just like relaxing in this chair. And I just feel like I'm just BSing, you know?
Yeah.
When you're like, when you're just having a conversation with someone and there's nothing else to really talk about, so you just talk. Yeah. That's what this has turned into. Not that I don't have anything to talk about. I just don't want to start a conversation because it's already so long. And it's kind of just like, oh yeah, one more thing. Oh yeah, one more thing. Oh yeah, one more thing. So I might as well just end it now before this crash and burns. Yeah. Again, because it already has crashed and burned after Alpha left. He was the glue. He was the glue. The glue Stoutland. Yeah, all right. That's it. Bye, everybody. See you soon. Maybe next week.
Have a good night.
Who knows? I don't know why it was a 3-week absence after the last episode. The show's not over. We're just busy. Or some of us are. And then I'm like, I'm the only one not busy. I'm not doing anything. And then I get busy, and then the other person. I don't know. Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Oh my god, that's it. I'm stopping the recording.
Don't you mean Segaway?
Oh my god.
That joke.
I just got that too.